Hello, hello, hello. Testing, testing. I'm gonna test the audio and then I'll get started. Alright, it looks like it's working. Hold on, let me post this real quick. And then I'll go ahead and get started. I'm gonna be doing a market review and scan for July 30th, 2026. I hope you guys are all having a good day. I'm gonna quickly just go through my list of stocks. I already created the key levels and I'm just gonna walk you through my thought process behind what I'm looking at. And yeah, it's just pretty simple. So I'll go through that and yeah, it should be pretty good. So let's go ahead and let's get into it in just 1 second. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into it. This is just the first initial scan, so I haven't added any new names yet. I'm going to do that later tonight. But right now, all I've done so far, which is pretty much the main part of my scan, it's like the first half of my scan, is I've gone through the sector ETFs. I've charted out my key levels, and I basically just got them set up for tomorrow. Red means that they're either chopping sectors, but they're at least above all the EMAs, or the key level that I'm watching is above all the EMAs, and then the purple sectors mean that they're untradeable. So that means I'm not even going to look at the stocks within those sectors, so I'm not even tempted to trade them. So yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to go one by one. First off, I'm going to start with the IGV sector. This is going to be your tech software stocks. This one is above all the EMAs, above today's highs. We can look for a move higher. And some of the names I'll be watching is going to be NET above today's highs can lead to a breakout. We have DDOG above today's highs can lead to a breakout. We have Toast above today's highs can lead to a breakout. And then NTAP. And the reason why I'm watching those four names is simply because IGV is above all the EMAs, and the key level that I'm paying attention to is at a good spot. So I marked all the names I'm not going to be trading as purple. The reason these aren't tradable is because they've either already broken out or the key levels just aren't good. I wouldn't want to play this above yesterday's highs, or sorry, today's highs, because this high of day is just within that body, which I don't really like. I found it to be less probable, so I'd rather watch the names with better setups, which is going to be the four names I highlighted right there. Next sector we have is ITA below today's lows can lead to further downside. Now, the only name that I would be watching in this sector would be GE right now because I haven't found any other names yet, but it's untradeable. I'm not really liking this setup, so I'd rather just wait for it to setup more. And that's something that I noticed on this initial scan is that a lot of stocks and sectors and themes, they really need a lot more time. Not a lot more time, but they need a couple of days, at least one day to pop up. So you're going to see a lot of purple on my watch list, and that's okay. It just means that we're probably going to be taking less trades, and yeah, that's fine. Next up we have is ARCX. This is a untradeable stock. We're just in between yesterday's range, so there's not a good key level to play off of it. So all these names are automatically going to be untradeable, so we're not tempted to take trades. XLC, we can look for shorts below today's lows for breakout trades to the downside. And the names I'm going to be watching is APPS below today's lows. We have Reddit below today's lows. We can look for continuation down. We can watch WBD below today's lows. We can look for a continuation to the downside. And then we have RBLX below today's lows. We can look for continuation to the downside. And those are the four names I like within this sector. And once again, it's because it has a good key level that we can watch. We're below all the EMAs. And yeah. Now, the strong names, I still keep those on my watch list, but we don't trade them. We simply just track them. So keep that in mind. You can still track the names that aren't trending with the sector, but you don't want to be trading those. I like to wait for the sector and the stocks to align with each other. Next sector we have is going to be solar. We have this sector ETF TAN. Now, there's no good key level from today that I would want to play to either side of the market. So simply we just mark it as purple, which is going to be untradeable. And the names within this sector are automatically untradeable, but we can still track them, so we just keep them on the watch list, but we won't be watching them tomorrow. Next sector we have is going to be on clean, global clean energy ICLN. There's no good key levels, so we're simply just going to wait on this. We're not going to watch it. We're just track these names for now. No reason to do anything there. IBIT is going to be Bitcoin. So this is a tradable sector above today's highs. We can look for breakouts on individual names to the upside. I'll see if any new names pop up in this scan that I do later, but the one name that I am liking right now is going to be BMNR above today's highs. I would like to see a breakout higher. I do like this name a lot, and yeah, we can watch this for further upside. Coin, it's down after hours on earnings, but it doesn't have a setup anyways, and there's no playable key levels, so I wouldn't be watching it anyways. And then MSTR, they're both pretty much kind of weak right now, but we wouldn't be watching the downside anyways. We would simply just be tracking it. Alright, let's keep going. So next up we have is XLE. This is looking like a strong sector above today's highs. We can look for continuation of the upside. We're above all the EMAs and we have a good key level. The one stock I like right now is going to be on PSX. This has a nice base that's forming, and above today's highs we could see continuation up. So I'll be keeping an eye on that name. XOP, similar to XLE, they're a oil and gas exploration. Above today's highs, we can see continuation to the upside. Above all the EMAs and a good key level. The one name that I'm watching right now is going to be EQT above today's highs. I do like that for a trade. EOG, not really liking that key level or the close from today. We gapped down and we didn't really recover enough, so I'm not going to be watching that. And then same with OXY. We're just going to wait for those to set up better, which is totally fine. Don't feel like you need to force trades, especially in this market environment. There's really no reason to force anything. Just be patient and wait for the good setups to come to you, wait for the good triggers, and that's the best advice that I could give you right now. And then XOP, we do still have some weak names, but we're not even going to be trading those because that's a strong sector, so we're just tracking those for now. I'll make this a little bit bigger so you can see the names as well. Next sector that we have is going to be KWEB. We're looking for continuation to the upside above today's highs. We're above the 510-21 EMA, and the names I do like to watch for this sector is going to be BZ and BABA. You can watch for breakouts above today's highs. I like those setups a lot. PDD, we had this kind of fake breakout. It just needs to set up better. It's not a bad setup, and then this one had earnings, so we also just need to wait for this one to set up better too. Next setup or next sector is going to be XLP. There's no good key levels on it right now, so we're just going to track all these names. I'm not going to go through them all, but the reason why it's not tradable is we're just chopping. We close within the EMAs, so there's no reason to play these stocks right now. We just want to see the sector ETF set up a little bit better. XBI, we could see a move higher above today's highs to the upside. We closed right around the EMAs, but if you notice today's high a day, it's above all the EMAs. So if we saw a break of today's highs, we could see a breakout on the individual names within the sector. So the two names that I like is going to be ZBIO above today's highs. We have a really nice flag forming here, good volume patterns. And then we also have NUVB above today's highs. We can see a breakout to the upside. One thing to note about these sector ETFs as well. So we have red means that it's tradable, but it's not a trending sector. It just means that it's kind of chopping or basing, but it's at least above all the EMAs, which is rule number one. I like to see the sector ETFs and the stocks I'm trading above or below all the EMAs. Um, and then second, we have the purple sectors. Those are the untradeable ones. We don't have any green sectors right now. When we get a green sector, I mark that as a trending sector. So when we have a trending sector, that's where I'm looking for those EMA bounces. But for right now, we're just looking at the we're not seeing any trending sectors right now because we've just been in a huge base. But whenever we do get the trending sectors, I'll make sure to point those out in the future streams or the future videos. That way I can teach you guys how do I utilize that. Next sector we have, which is tradable, we have jets. This can be your airline stocks. We have UAL above today's highs. We can see continuation to the upside. ALK above today's highs. We can see continuation to the upside. And then we have VIK above today's highs. We can see continuation to the upside. So I really like those setups. I like how jets is forming. That looks like a good sector to pay attention to. Next sector we have is going to be SMH. This is going to be semiconductors. We had a gap up today and a small green close above the 5 EMA, but not really any good key levels and not really trending right now. So definitely just going to be more patient. This needs a couple days of setup, whether it wants to reclaim below today's lows or back above the 21 EMA. It simply just needs time. So I'm staying away from the names within those sectors. XSD, this one also just needs some time. It's similar to SMH, but yeah, just close back up at the 5 EMA, but I wouldn't want to watch downside below today's lows, but I also wouldn't want to watch upside because we're still below all these EMAs. So simply just going to be patient and wait here. The next sector that we have is going to be on quantum. Same thing, close back into the EMAs, but it just needs some time. Whether it's a day or a couple days, I want to see this set up a little bit better. And there's not really any setups to watch right now on these stocks anyways. The next sector that I'm watching is going to be on ARKF. This is going to be your financial tech innovation ETF. Below today's lows, we can look for trades to the downside. I like circle puts below today's lows, and I also like ALLY. The reason why this is a good sector, we're below all the EMAs. If we do gap down and we get below today's lows, I do think this will be a good setup to watch for some more downside. Next up we have is KRE. We can watch this above today's highs. Above today's highs, we could see a breakout to the upside. And the one name that I'm watching is going to be on NDAQ. If we can get above today's highs, I do like this for a breakout higher. The next sector that I'm going to be watching is going to be on XLY. We can watch this below today's lows for potential short triggers. The only name that's catching my attention so far is going to be STUB. Below today's lows, we can see a breakdown out of this bear flag or base, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, next tradable sector is going to be CIBR. Above today's highs, we could see breakouts higher. Now the only name that I have is not tradable yet because we're bouncing off the 5 EMA, but we don't have a base right now to break out from, so I'm just going to wait on this. If I see any more stocks pop up within this sector, then I'll put it in the written scan that I post on my Twitter. But right now, this is the only name, just tracking it, not going to trade it. And then the next sector we have is going to be XPH. Above today's highs, we can see breakouts. Currently don't have any names within this sector, so I'm just waiting. If I see any names pop up in this scan I do later, then I will have that posted in the written scan on Twitter as well. Same with IHF. Below today's lows, we can look for a continuation to the downside. And the reason why I'm not watching upside is because this high is just not in a great spot. I would want to see it set up a little bit better if it does want to go up. So just waiting for upside names. I'll watch downside names if any pop up, but right now I don't have any names for that sector. XLRE for downside. Below today's lows, we can see continuation to the downside. The one name that I'm watching right now is going to be ARR. Below today's lows, we can see continuation to the downside. Next up we have is IYT. Below today's lows, we can see continuation to the downside. Now, the only name that I'm watching within this sector is not ready yet. It just needs some time. We bounced off these lows today, and I just would rather see it set up a little bit better before I'm looking to trade it. XAR below today's lows, we could see continuation to the downside. Now, we did have a hammer close, so a lot of these charts had pretty strong closes, so I'm not actually going to be looking to trade them, which is what happened on a lot of trades today. So there's not really a lot of opportunities presenting themselves, even on the sectors that are tradable. So right now it's just more about tracking them and being patient. But if any names do pop up that look good within these sectors, I'll add them to my list later in the day. Next up we have is XLU. Below today's lows, we can see continuation to the down. This can be your utility names. CEG, it just needs some more time. It's right around those EMAs. There's not really anything to do right now. So I'd either want to see it set up in the next couple days for a downside move, or I'll look to add some new names on this sector. And the next sector that I have is going to be home builders. This is XHB. We can watch continuation to the downside below today's lows for breakout trades on the individual names. The only stock that I have that's ready right now is going to be QXO below today's lows, so I'll be keeping an eye on that. Silver and GDX miners are starting to set up. Both of them above today's highs. We can see breakouts and continuations to the upsides on individual names that are within the sectors. Obviously, I don't have any names right now, but if any pop up in the scan that I run later, then I'll add those. FCG, this one above today's highs, we can see continuations for breakouts to the upside. So I'll be paying attention to this one as well if any new names pop up, but right now there's not much to do or anything to do. And then we have XHE above today's highs. We can see continuation upside. Once again, no names that I have right now. If any pop up, then I'll add that later. Same with SKYY above today's highs. We'll look for continuation to the upside. Right now, there's nothing to do or no names to add. Then we have HACK. This can be cybersecurity. We can watch puts below today's lows. We did have a pretty strong close, so we would want to see a gap down if we were going to trade this setup. And the only tradable name right now is going to be CRWD, so we would need both of them to gap down. So we'll see if that happens, but it's probably less likely that we get any triggers on that. COPX, above today's highs, we can look for breakouts to the upside on the individual names. We have this big basis forming down here at these lows, and we're starting to curl up. If we do get a breakout above today's highs and we have some good names popping up, then that does look like a good sector to watch. But right now, just need to be patient or look to see if there's any new names. ITB below today's lows, we can look for continuation to the downside on the individual names. The only name that I have is DHI, and this needs to set up better before I trade it. If any new names pop up though, then I'll be sure to add those onto my list. But yeah, short little stream today. I know if anyone's watching this, it'll probably be the recording that gets automatically uploaded to YouTube after. So if you are watching this, hopefully it's helpful kind of seeing what I'm watching. There's not really a lot of setups right now, not gonna lie. Maybe we'll see some more opportunities pop up in the scan that I run later off of this screener, which you can copy these settings if you want to. It's probably not gonna load. But yeah, I'll do my scan later and I'll look for new names to see if we get any new